Going the distance for local sports. This is X Sports Today.
Since opening our doors in 1904, Builtwell Bank has existed to be the local economic engine for the communities we serve. No matter if you're buying a car, saving for retirement, or finally buying that forever home, Builtwell Bank is here to help. From personal checking and savings accounts to a full suite of business and commercial banking with treasury management services, we'll make sure you'll have a dedicated Builtwell banker that understands your unique needs and stands by you every step of the way. No matter where you are in Tennessee or Northwest Georgia, there's likely a Builtwell Bank location nearby. Come see us and let our dedicated financial team help you with all of your banking needs. Member FDIC.
A&M Medical is Lawrence County's newest medical clinic, specializing in urgent and primary care. Practitioners Andrea Bain and Meredith Hutton bring years of experience and compassion to keep you and your family healthy. A&M Medical features a separate well waiting room to meet your needs. Visit today and ask about A&M's weight loss program and telemedicine services. That's A&M Medical, located at 2367 Highway 43 South in Leoma, Tennessee.
Gifts and goodies galore await you at Miss Millie's in downtown Lawrenceburg. From brands you know and love, like E. Newton Jewelry and Tyler Diva Wash, to unique specialty gifts, you will find it all here. Whether you're looking for the perfect gift for someone you love or shopping for yourself, shopping local is the way to go. We have home goods, women's fashion and accessories, baby items, and lots of seasonal decorations. Our friendly staff will welcome you in, help you find what you need, and even package your gifts for you. Also, we can't forget to tell you about our popular bridal registry. Future brides can come and create their perfect registry with us. So stop by Miss Millie's today. We're located in the northeast corner of the square in downtown Lawrenceburg.
Welcome to the newly remodeled Brass Lantern. For over 30 years, we've been serving delicious food to excellent people. Brass Lantern takes pride in authenticity, serving fresh, homemade food to please any member of the family. From mouth-watering to one-of-a-kind steaks served with gourmet marinade, to salad with our signature honey mustard dressing, specialty fruit tea, drafts, and much more. Our food is always prepared daily. Whether you come in with friends or family, you'll appreciate that fresh is better.
Volco Auto Supply in Lawrenceburg has a legacy of being a family-owned and operated company. Since 1927, our business has grown and evolved into today's one-stop source for all your automotive supplies. But in that time, one thing has stayed the same, and that's our commitment to our customers and their needs. At Volco Auto Supply, you'll find everything for your car, truck, or even fleet of vehicles, but with good old-fashioned customer service the way it needs to be. That's Volco Auto Supply, 416 Buffalo Road in Lawrenceburg. Visit VolcoAuto.com. Make your lawn a legacy. At Legacy Lawn and Landscapes, we put more than 16 years of experience into your goals. We won't meet your expectations, we'll exceed them. We offer consultation, installation, maintenance, hardscapes, construction, and land clearing services. Owner John and Jamie Brewer with their team are dedicated to providing the highest quality landscape services to commercial and residential clients in Middle Tennessee. Service, teamwork, results. That's how you leave a legacy.
A Moment in Real Estate with my dad, Jeff Hood.
You know, I get asked a lot about what the market's going to do. How's the real estate market? I've been selling real estate for a long time, and nobody has a crystal ball. And you know what? When it's your time to buy or your time to sell, it really doesn't matter what the market's doing. It's your time, and you have to do something maybe. What makes a difference is the agents and the experience that go to work for you. We're Keller Williams Hood Company, located here in Lawrenceburg, Tennessee. We can help.
Hood Company, powered by Keller Williams, the #1 name in real estate.
Going the distance for local sports. This is X Sports Today.
Welcome everybody back. Another episode of X Sports Today. I'm AJ Good, joined by Taylor Plott. Hayden Burke's with us once again, guys, and we had a busy show yesterday. A lot to talk about. Got a lot to talk about again today, and it's been just when you think June kind of comes around, like the sports side are going to slow down a little bit. It hasn't really been that case, has it?
It has not at all. I mean, you still having just a lot of playoff action, got a lot of games. Obviously, baseball season's in full swing, but like what we talked about yesterday, the playoffs and everything with NBA and NHL. I mean, some of the best stuff we've seen probably in quite some time.
Yeah, with the NBA playoffs and also the NHL. You think those are like, when it comes to playoff time, those are things you're watching. There's nothing really else to watch. Then you look on a Sunday afternoon, and there's baseball games going on at 1 o'clock in the morning, and over at the West Coast in our time over here. So you're like, well, you got sports. You can basically stay up all night if you want to and just watch whatever you want to.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I was that crazy guy staying up all night watching all this. I mean, this is all the games we got going down just today. We got Major League Baseball, WNBA. We even have a U.S. soccer friendly just down the road in Nashville. They're taking on Switzerland tonight over there at Jedis Park. I think that's how you say it. God forgive me if I'm just totally mispronounced that. I'm trying to update myself on soccer. I mean, shoot, we're getting the World Cup. What is it? 2 years?
2 years from now.
I think so, yeah.
Or is it next year that we get the World Cup?
It might be 20. It's either 26 or 27.
Yeah,
I think it's
whenever the new stadium.
Yeah, I mean, we wish it was in Nashville, but you might just either go to Kansas City or in Nashville, watch two nations you never heard of, and just go and have a good time. But guys, we had a Game 3 last night in the Stanley Cup Finals. Florida Panthers, Edmonton Oilers down south in Sunrise, where the Panthers have been excellent at home. They're 27-2 at home so far this year. And guys, just when you thought we were going to have a 3 overtime game, because Game 1 went into overtime, Game 2 went the double overtime last night in Florida, outside of one little spark for Edmonton in the second period, guys, this was all Panthers from start to finish, coming away with a pretty convincing 6-1 win over the Oilers.
Yeah, you kind of figured that, just like you said, starting off Game 1 overtime, Game 2 double overtime. So you figured this one, would probably be just as close, but all of a sudden you end up looking, and very quickly on the scoreboard, it's like almost a blowout.
Yeah.
And it just continued to get worse and worse and worse for Edmonton.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it was a big game for Florida, a big game to take the series 2-1. Obviously, with the two games we had in Game 1 and Game 2, it looked like it was just going to be one of those high-scoring type of games where both teams, of which this one was, but then again, it just looked like it kind of slowed down the pace a little bit. A lot more physicality. You and AJ, you and I talked about it. And it was definitely different from an aspect of what we've seen in Game 1 and 2.
Yeah, and Florida, that's their game. They do have a lot of talent. They got a lot of stars on that ice. This is a team that wants to beat you up, physically, and they did a lot of that, especially in the early going. Right there's a good example.
Yep.
Forced a turnover, got a goal. Guys, they had 4 power play goals 3 power play goals. Edmonton's 1 goal was scored on a power play, but they had 3 power play goals last night. They forced Edmonton into a ton, again, more. Great defense right there leads to Bennett, who's, by the way, leading the postseason with 14 goals right now. Marchand had another goal last night. He's got 4 in the series. Their defense was just suffocating last night, as you can tell the hit there from. I mean, look at this. He hits 2 guys, then goes to the other side of the ice and gets a goal. Their defense was just outstanding last night.
Well, that's exactly what you need to do, especially, I mean, not only in just any hockey game, but hey, this is the Stanley Cup. This is the end of the road, and you got to give it all you got. And they're definitely doing that. And just like what we meant with the power play goals, obviously you want to score on a power play. That's going to be your best chance at scoring. You got to take advantage of it, and they did. And sure enough, they came away with a 6-1 victory.
And we talked about which goalie's going to step up. Is it going to be Skinner? It's going to be Bobrovsky. Bobrovsky was great last night. You don't see it at all here in the highlights, but in the first half of the first period, Edmonton attacked him a lot. They put a lot of shots on that. I would say the bulk of the shots that Bobrovsky saw came in that first period. They just kept attacking him, and he was so good. 32 saves on 33 shots, 97% save percentage. He was great, but again, his defense helps him out. Skinner got pulled in the third period, which actually the last he got pulled in a previous series, came back and was fantastic until last night. So we talked about which goalie's going to step up last night. Florida's got the job done.
Yeah, and you look at the shots on goal. I think what did it end with Edmonton? It was like 35 or something. What he said it was like 34,
33 shots to 31 for Florida.
And Florida still got 6 goals. Yeah. So it's like you still got more shots on goal, but the defense and just taking care of that net was the end of the or really the bulk of the story there for Florida. Just absolutely destroying them on the defensive end.
I mean, and also Edmonton gave him 11 power plays last night.
Yeah, something like that.
That was the crazy part. 11. When I saw that stat earlier, I was like, "Holy crap!"
11 power plays, and you give any NHL team double-digit power plays, they're going to score in at least 2 of them.
Yeah, and even if you have less shots on goal, you got to keep that in mind that they did have tons of power plays, so. A little skewed there.
And 12 giveaways by Edmonton, and of course Florida took advantage. Game got pretty chippy. I'm sure everyone's seen the brawl at the end of the game.
That was my favorite part of the game.
That's you guys come in and goes, man, we tuned in right in time.
Yeah, we tuned in right in time
to check out the brawl, but that's really not Edmonton's game. They want to style you out. They want to get up and down the ice. They want to play. I don't want to say play a finesse style because they do have some big bruisers, but that's just not their game. They do not want to be that big physical team, and they played right into it last night because, as you saw, Florida had 11 penalties because Edmonton spent the last half of the game trying to draw Florida in the dumb penalties and getting themselves in the dumb penalties.
Yep. Yeah, it just ended up kind of backfiring on them, and just like what you mentioned, it feel like the game just kind of they tried to just keep tempting, and they didn't really bite until we got toward the end, and all of a sudden a big fight happened.
Yeah, it's which we all love a good fight.
Oh yeah,
I mean, I've been on record several times. I think you should see it in all pro sports. Especially in these college baseball games with as much jawing as they do. It's like, okay, everyone stay in the dugout. You two on the mound, go at it, and whoever finally drops down, that's when you guys are going to get up, and then you're going to go take an inning break. You're just going to cool down, and that way, because as these hockey guys will tell you, it's all great until you either got to punch somebody or get punched, which neither of them feel good at all, to get punched or to throw a punch. So that's just kind of one of my hottest takes out there. That
get it all out at once instead of something building up every time.
Just allow these guys to go out there and to separate them, make sure it doesn't turn into a brawl. Just let them go out there.
So it wasn't a brawl. There was just multiple incidents. It's hockey.
It's hockey. And it's playoff hockey. It's really intense. But okay, so Florida takes a 2-1 lead. We all know how important Game 4s can be. When you're down 2-1, you're on the road. Florida was able to even things up on the road to make it 1-1. Now they take Game 3 here. Edmonton, I don't want to say it's a must-win, but you don't want to go back home down 3-1 in a must-win.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, in my opinion, last night's game was a big game because, I mean, NBA or any Game 7, the Game 3 is where it matters most. Yeah. I don't care if you're down 1 or if it's the series is tied 1-1, if you're down 0-2, even if you're up 2-0. I mean, if you're up 2-0, it's a different thing. But then again, with Florida basically taking home ice advantage, and then that Game 3, them taking a 2-1 lead, this is a big Game 4 for both teams. So it's going to be interesting. It's always Game 3 and Game 4 that matters the most.
And you look at what they're coming off of with that performance last night. Where, yes, we can talk about they gave Florida so many power plays, they gave them so many great opportunities to score, and they took advantage of it, but you still feel like you got punched in the mouth. You lost 6-1. Yeah, you might think if you take some of those power plays back, you might have a little bit better chance, but you're still probably losing that game the way that you played and the way that they just clamped down defensively. So there is a bigger emphasis now going into this next game that Edmonton needs to be able to tie this series back up to feel like maybe they can get themselves back into the driver's seat, because you start going down 3-1, I mean, one more game, obviously, you're done at that point.
I mean, 3-1 comebacks in any sport are hard to do. That's why they're rare. So you don't want to put yourself in that Game 4. Will be Thursday night, 7 o'clock our time, 8 o'clock Eastern. So we kind of alluded to it a little bit. In the NBA's Game 3 is going to be tomorrow night in Indiana. And Indiana are going to try to protect home court, and OKC going to try to take that lead there on the road. Everyone talks about how Game 5 can sometimes be the most pivotal when it's 2-2. I would argue that Game 3 can be even more important because you get out to that lead. not saying you can relax, but you feel like you're more in a driver's seat, that you're not having to press as much.
Exactly. You feel like you're in that driver's seat. You feel like you're in a position to where, you still obviously have to come out and play your best game in that next game, but you do feel like you're kind of like, okay, if we can do that one more game, then that is a big punch in the gut to the opposing team. So yeah, you're exactly right. Sometimes those game 3s, and even like you mentioned, like that game 4, is like those kind of middle games are really, really important, that you need to set the tone going into maybe game 5 or even game 6, and you can just clinch it by that point.
Well, you got to look at it from both sides too. It's a big game for both teams. Starting with Indiana, one, you're at your place. You've already took home court advantage in Oklahoma City. They're the best team on the road within the playoffs. I think they've only lost 2, 3 road games so far in the playoffs. So you've done that, and you want to protect home court. If you do that, win the 2 games, you're up 3-1. If you're Oklahoma, though, you got to have a game like you did in game 1 and game 2 combined, put together. You got to have Shea do your thing, or do his thing. Chet Holmgren's got to be a big guy down low. You got to be able to go on the road and win that game. Because game 2 and 3 for Oklahoma City is more pivotal, in my opinion, than the Pacers. I mean, I know they're both going to be pivotal, but then again, I think Oklahoma's the one that has probably a little bit more pressure, I'd say.
Yeah, I would completely agree with that.
Yeah, absolutely. The road team, because Indiana can easily go up 3-1, and then you're going back to your place in a must-win, knowing you have to eventually go back. Even if you win in Game 5, you got to go back to Indiana.
I think we're going back to Oklahoma for Game 5 at a 2-2 series.
I'm thinking that one might be a 7-game series.
It could be. Yeah.
I'm not so convinced. I think if the Oilers come out and win Game 4, and convincing or unconvincing, doesn't matter. If you come out and win Game 4, it's 2-2. I've got good confidence I will go 7, but if Florida comes out and blitzes them again, that could be over 5, more than likely 6. But I'm thinking the NBA Finals might be our best bet for a 7-game series.
7-game series, at least 6. At least 6.
And the thing, kind of piggybacking on what you're saying, Hayden, with the OKC standpoint, I still feel like, you got that game 2, so you ended up tying it up, but you still feel like you have a very bad taste in your mouth from that first game. So maybe there is a little bit more pressure on them to say, hey, we really do need to take this game in Indiana. And that way you can kind of feel better about yourself going into the remainder of the series, because I guarantee you, especially from an OKC fan standpoint, I know that they are definitely feeling still the ramifications of that first game. And if they end up losing this game, they might start feeling like, oh boy, this is coming to an end.
Well, you got to look at their opponent too.
Oh yeah, you do.
Look who they've gone through. They went through Milwaukee. Giannis Antetokounmpo beat them in 5 games. Then you beat Cleveland in 5 games or 6 games. One of the 2, I think it was 6 maybe. Then you beat New York in 6 games. I mean, they've been there. They've been to the conference finals. First time they've been to the finals in I don't know how long since it's been. Yeah, it's been a long time. But then again, right now, if you're Oklahoma City, I mean, you're the best team in the league throughout the regular season. I mean, you are the favorites to win the championship, but you can't play like the favorites. You got to play like you're the underdogs.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Well, guys, coming up next, the College World Series in baseball. As the field has been set, we've got a lot of unexpected teams, including big win last night from a Missouri Valley team.
That's right.
We'll take a look at the field when we return here on Exports Today.
Pat's Cafe and Catering has been proudly serving customers in Lawrenceburg since 1987. For 4 generations, our family-run cafe has served up delicious breakfast and lunch favorites, with friendly service and a welcoming atmosphere. We also offer full-service catering and can help to make your next party or event a success. For great food and friendly faces, visit us today at Pat's Cafe and Catering.
The Raptor Series from Hustler Turf. A premium line of residential mowers designed with a wide stance for operator comfort. A one-piece 11-gauge steel frame and welded steel deck for added durability. Finished off with premium Kawasaki V-twin power. We are Hustler Turf, and this is Hustler Country.
Flooring sets the tone throughout your home.
For flooring that makes the right first impression, start by choosing us, Floored by Justin.
A one-stop flooring destination. Our new location stands alone for unequaled customer service and selection. Owner Justin Story's mastery of custom hardwood inlays means every room can have a custom look. Discover how the right choice of hardwood, laminate, carpet, or tile can set the tone in your home. Contact Floored by Justin today.
Arctic Air keeps your home or business comfortable. For more than 20 years, we've provided outstanding residential and commercial services through Southern Middle Tennessee. Whether you need assistance with your heat, air conditioning, preventive maintenance, or anything in between, trust our reliable team to get the job done. We'll take the time to figure out your specific needs and recommend what we believe is right and best for your situation.
We've been using Arctic Air for over 15 years now. Their service is great, they're here when we need them, and their prices are competitive. They take the worry out of the heat and air so I don't have to.
Arctic Air. When you need us, we'll be there.
Shop McMaster's Home Gallery for furniture, appliances, and more. And shop quality, shop convenience, shop service, shop local. A family-owned business with a long history of serving the region. We're a one-stop home furnishings destination. We feature brands you know, competitively priced, backed by professional installation and service. You can trust that we'll take good care of you before and after the sale. For your home, shop smart. Shop McMaster's Home Gallery today.
From our humble beginnings to today, Parks Lumber Company has continuously served Lawrence and surrounding counties for over a century. Although we started as a small lumber yard in 1896, we have grown to include everything you need to make your dream project come to life. No matter your building needs, our experienced staff will be with you every step of the way to ensure you receive the highest customer service and attention to detail you deserve. Visit us at 106 2nd Street or on Facebook. We guarantee you will see working with PLC is as easy as 1, 2, 3.
Going the distance with local sports. This is the X Sports Network.
Welcome back here to X Sports
Today.
X Sports Today. I almost called it X Sports Live.
Well,
I'm going to get there, and then eventually when we do X Sports Live,
we're going to say X Sports Today.
X Sports Today.
And then, look, this is going to be Clinton Dusty. What'd you say?
What? Well, we're just a red-headed stepchild up here, Brazier.
Well, we don't know what we're doing anymore.
Maybe we can bring them in every now and then to today's show.
Do it live from Clint's barbershop.
Yes.
That would be pretty
Have
funny.
him join virtually. What's up, fellas?
Just up here cutting hair.
Just
playing
cutting somebody's
Spider-Man.
hair. What's going on?
Oh my
But we
gosh.
got the field is officially set for the College World Series. Starts Friday. Arizona, Coastal Carolina at 1. Louisville, Oregon State at 6. But let's get into the game last night. Wow, what a shocker. I mean, Duke was looking to get in for the first time since 1961. Murray State for the first time ever. And it's the Racers. Find a way, come from behind, win it 5-4. And guys, they are going to Omaha. So that make it not 1, but 2 quote-unquote mid-majors joining the final 8 teams in all of college baseball.
Yeah, it was. I watched the highlights this morning. It was a fun game to watch. I didn't watch it live because I had Babe Ruth baseball last night. But I watched the highlights. It was a fun game. I really thought going down the stretch, I'm thinking, okay, Duke's going to eventually, they're going to pull away. They're going to pull away. All of a sudden, here comes Murray State, getting some key outs, leaving guys on against Duke and all that. I mean, their pitching staff is really, really good, and that's what it's one of those things where pitchers down the stretch, they mean something, especially big games like that. So, shout out to Murray State, and I didn't realize this until Michael and I talked about it yesterday. None of the field from last year is in it this year.
Right.
Yep.
I literally saw that on X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it, this morning. That's crazy.
And wasn't that like the first time? And it's been a while. I thought that there's. I felt like because I saw that too. I didn't really look into it, but I felt like at least for the past handful of years, there's always been somebody from the previous field who always got in. Yeah.
We are cleaning house.
Exactly.
Going with somebody else this year.
I mean, we already knew we were going to have a different national champion because of Tennessee. But the fact that we have a completely different field, that just tells you the depth of college baseball, the parity in college baseball, and baseball's just such an unpredictable sport. I
It is.
think basketball, baseball, softball can be the most unpredictable because you're dealing with, you're great 3 out of 10 times.
Yep.
You're a Hall of Famer. Just like in basketball, if you make 4 out of 10 shots, you're a Hall of Famer.
Yep.
It's the highest degree of error.
Yep.
I should say it has the highest chances of error than the other sports, which is why football. If you spend the right amount of money and you get the right amount of guys,
Yep.
you can separate yourself. But baseball, basketball, those are the 2 hardest sports to really, in my opinion, to be consistent at and be a championship team every year.
Well, you're exactly right, and I think this also goes to show that you never overlook those mid majors and those.
Right.
I mean, we talked about it yesterday. Coastal Carolina, they won it back in 2016, so they are known to be a really good baseball program. Are they in a Power 5 conference? No, but that doesn't mean that they can't be really, really good. Same thing with Murray State. They're coming out of the Missouri Valley Conference, a conference that you might not really think about much in the way of baseball, really just kind of big sports in general.
Really good for a long time.
Yes, but they have been, and they continue to prove that they can get teams. And finally, Murray State, for the first time ever, be able to cross that line into the World Series. But yeah, you're exactly right. It feels like, at least from a baseball perspective, the field kind of opens up maybe a little bit more than usual.
I mean, you think about Missouri Valley the last 3 years, Indiana State hosted a regional.
Mhm.
Then you have Evansville, who, by the way, that's kind of been a bottom-tier program in that league. Last year had to make this great run.
They took Knoxville to the limit.
They took Tennessee to 3 games, and you get Missouri State. I mean, guy I want to point out to him, Jonathan Hogarth, he's got 22 home runs. 8 of those are lead-off home runs, which leads the nation by far. He's drove in 65 runs. Dan Tonkin, who had the go-ahead double last night, he has 11 homers, 76 RBIs. He's batting team 257.
Pretty
I mean,
good.
this team's batting average, they're going up against UCLA on Saturday. They're in 307 on the year. They've got 78 home runs. Their on-base percentage is .422. They're slugging .508. Their team ERA is just a hair below 5. But I think most of that's coming from their starters because they've got their bullpen is what makes Murray State special. And that they got a guy, closer on the back end, who's not afraid to go out, throw 3-4 innings to get a save. He's the school's all-time leader, single season and career leader in saves. So what makes Murray State special? Big bats and a really good bullpen, and that can carry you when you get to Omaha because you don't have to win 20 games to win a national championship.
Right.
You just got to win 4?
Yeah.
You got to win 4,
3 or 4 to get there.
Yeah, at least 3, and then you got to win 2 more at least. So at least 4 to 5.
Yeah.
4 to 5.
And going into this, everybody's going to look, and I feel like obviously this is the College World Series, and we've had a bracket for a long time, but this is the final group of teams. But I feel like if you look at this from a different sport perspective, like football, basketball, and you look at kind of the overall who's in that, and you're like, oh, well, you're filling out your bracket basis, like, oh, well, they can't make it that far or whatnot. Do not sleep on Murray State.
No.
The stats that you just said, and if you watch them, there is a real possibility that Murray State can go into Omaha and absolutely clear the field and take away the championship. I mean, if they keep the bats hot, they have a great bullpen, their pitchers are looking really good, they can win it all.
And speaking of, one of the teams, mid-major teams that could win it all, if you look at their pitching, Coastal Carolina, the 3 of the 4 teams that are playing on Friday, not many expected to get there. And you can make an argument Oregon State getting there is a bit of a surprise, too. So your first game, you got Arizona and you got Coastal Carolina. Coastal Carolina's pitching staff, fantastic. They might not be the best.
They ran through Auburn.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, they ran through. I mean, look at their team ERA, guys, is 3.21. That's the best of anyone going to Omaha this coming week. They hit 290 as a team. They've got just a hair under 1,100 strikeouts on the year, which Arizona does have just a hair over 1,100 strikeouts. Their whip, walks, hits, innings pitched 1.18, which is the lowest of all 8 teams going. Coastal Carolina might not be the biggest offensive team going, but that pitching staff, it's they always say postseason baseball is power pitching.
Yep.
I think Coastal Carolina might have the right mix of that.
They might easily. And again, it's another team where obviously with them, they've been there before, like we mentioned. So a lot of people, especially baseball fans, college baseball fans in general, know who Coastal Carolina is. And so who's to say that they do have a really good team again. And they could easily run the table as well up there in Omaha. But you're right. When you really get into the College World Series, postseason baseball, you really need to have that pitching staff. Not only in college, but also major leagues. You look at some of the major league teams who make a deep run in the playoffs. Yes, they have a good offense, but they're going to limit you to a couple of runs each game. And from pitching perspective.
That's a pitcher ballpark.
Yeah.
Big.
Oh, yeah.
It is.
The dimensions are big. The ball doesn't fly that well there, which you could probably explain that better than we do as far as the weather and the conditions and whatnot in Omaha, even though teams are starting to test those limits. More and more home runs keep getting hit in Omaha, but it's a pitcher-friendly ballpark. The other game got going on Friday. Louisville, in a way, not too much of a shock. They only have 38 wins on the year, finished middle of the pack in the ACC, got hot at the right time. Oregon State, they're not a part of the conference. You look at that schedule. To win 47 games against the caliber of competition they were going up against is really, really good. And especially the Beavers have experience going there. I know it's been a little bit, but this is a team
historically has been good.
Hitting 291 as a team. Louisville's hitting 303. Louisville's team ERA is 5.56. I believe it's the highest of all the 8 teams going there. Oregon State's pitching staff, their starting pitching's pretty good. Bullpen's a little bit shaky. But they get a lot of strikeouts, but they give up a lot of hits. That game could be really interesting because both teams can swing the bats and got some shaking starting pitchers, and that could be really interesting.
Yeah, that's going to probably end up being a game where it's like 8-9, 8-10. Heck, both of them might be even in double digits by the end of the game. But you taking it from a perspective of yes, this is just the first game, but Louisville. I mean, you're going to have to clamp down on your pitching and giving up runs because you're going to run into some of the other teams where, yes, you have a high-power offense, but they might have higher-power pitching. Right. Coastal Carolina, Murray State, just for instance, what we're talking about, you might run into them, and all of a sudden Louisville's only scoring 2 or 3 runs, and they're losing 5-3 or 6-3. Right. So you got to clamp down on that, but this offensive game, I would expect it's going to be a high-powered one.
Yep.
But I say, obviously, between any game, this is probably the most wide-open World Series we've seen in a long time. I mean, everybody has a case of winning the World Series. I mean, everybody has that one stat that's unique that stands out of a reason why they could obviously win. So, I mean, it's going to come down to overall seeding when it comes to both sides of the bracket, who gets hot at the right time. Obviously, in my opinion, Arkansas is the favorite. Yeah. Just because, well, one, if in my opinion, if you beat Tennessee, better go win it all. Yeah. But two is obviously, they've got one of the best pitching staff, if not the best pitching staff that's left in the World Series right now. So I think it's Arkansas to take. But then again, if you look at everybody else, I mean, all you got to do is really get to the winners bracket and get to the finals of the first round. Then the championship game is just all hands on deck at that point.
We spoke a little bit about Murray State and UCLA. It's the first game on Saturday, but you mentioned LSU and Arkansas. 2 teams were not really shocked that got that far, and both teams, Arkansas was the overall number 3 seed. LSU was the overall number 6 seed. You look at Arkansas's numbers, Hayden. In 313 as a team, slugging .558. Both teams' ERAs are just under 4, but man, Arkansas 1,233 strikeouts. LSU has the most strikeouts of any pitching staff coming in at 1,351. They got 2 first-round picks. That's their 1 and 2 of their Friday, Saturday in college baseball terms. Arkansas is not far behind that. It's almost, I don't know what these head coaches are going to do. Do you throw your ace? Do you throw your Friday guy? You throw your Saturday guy? Yeah. Do you save them for?
I think you save them for down the line.
If you're going to get into the championship bracket or win or go home sort of situation. When you're playing good teams like this is a wide open, who knows what's going to happen situation.
I really don't think they'll throw their number ones unless they just want to get ahead. But then again, I know that the competition is going to be tough regardless who they play. But then again, me personally, if I was a coach, I probably wouldn't throw my number 1.
Yeah, and I'm very much looking forward to this game. This game is going to be absolutely fantastic. 2 SEC powerhouses going at it, and I do agree that if I were the coach in this position, I would probably throw my number 2.
Yeah.
Just, obviously you want to have a good outing for your starting pitcher. You want to be able to put out a really good arm for that first game, but you don't want to give away your best player to get going. So I would probably go with like a number 2 guy going into that first game, and then kind of see how you go from that point forward.
Both these staffs have really good pitchers.
Yes.
They've got multiple options.
You got multiple options, yes.
Yeah. So that should be the funnest game. I mean, I would put pretty good money on that.
That's the game I've got circled that I want to watch.
They're going to face each other multiple times coming up here coming into the week.
The weekend. Yeah, we're getting there.
Stumbling all over my words. We're coming up next year. We're going to talk some Major League Baseball. We're almost at the midway point of the season, guys. We're going to take a look at what the preseason predictions were and the reality of the situations, which it is. Taking a look at it, guys, it's kind of vastly different right now.
Yes.
It's coming up next.
Good Works at Home, formerly known as The Summit at Home, is a licensed, non-skilled agency dedicated to helping you maintain your independence at home for as long as possible. Our compassionate and caring staff provide support in various areas, including dressing, bathing, personal hygiene, transportation, cleaning, and companionship. Please call our office about services, payment options, and long-term care policies at 931-762-2310. We look forward to assisting you with keeping your independence longer.
At C&B Linen, fast, friendly, and reliable service is our promise to you. Because you're not just a customer, you're family. From multi-use linen to branded floor coverings and a complete range of cleaning supplies, C&B Linen is here to make sure you have everything you need. From our high-quality products to our fast, friendly, and reliable service, you'll experience the difference with C&B Linen. Because you're not just a client, you're part of our family. You'll be winning with C&B Linen.
When I cross that county line, just off Highway 49, it all makes perfect sense. Man, I live for this.
Hey, I'm Peyton Bowie, the children's pastor at Mars Hill Baptist Church, and it's crazy to think that summer is just around the corner. If you're like me and you're already planning what you're going to be doing and where you're going to be going for the summer, go ahead and put Vacation Bible School at Mars Hill down on your calendar. June the 9th through the 12th from 9 a.m. to noon for any kids 4 years old all the way through 5th grade. This year, our theme is True North, where we're going to be looking at all that God has created to help us really understand and discover who God is and how amazing He is and what it means to have a relationship with Jesus. So come join us June 9th through the 12th at Mars Hill Baptist Church from 9 a.m. to noon, kids 4 years old all the way through 5th grade. We can't wait to see you there.
Hey, this is Phil Hooper. Get the look you want for your favorite school, church, or business with apparel from HD Ink Screen Printing in Leoma, Tennessee. Got a logo you need embroidered or screen printed? Let HD Ink give you the professional look that sets the bar in today's world. We do fundraisers and custom designed apparel and so much more. Call today, 931-201-2961, or come see us at our new shop located at 26 Ingram Road in Leoma. Remember, HD Ink for the look you want and the look you deserve.
You know, Storing Lee Furniture is not just some huge chain store, but we do have a 144,000 square foot showroom right here in Leoma, Tennessee. The Story family has worked together in the business now for 55 years. And a familiar face is here to help you with whatever you need. That's what being a part of the community right here in the Tennessee Valley means. And if you have an issue, we're right here to take care of it. And don't forget free delivery. We invite you to come see us. We're Storing Lee Furniture.
Being raised in Tennessee, we believe in the importance of family and community. Creating a positive experience at our family-owned and operated business is one of the ways we share that belief.
Being in an accident can be extremely stressful. When it came time for my repairs, Mashburn's made it easy.
I am lucky to have a wonderful company in my community like Mashburn's Collision Center. It's reassuring to know that I'm in good hands because their work is second to none.
We pride ourselves that the Mashburn name is one of the most trusted in Lawrence County since 1981. Mashburn's Collision Center. Let our family take care of yours.
Going the distance for local sports. This is X Sports Today.
Welcome back here to X Sports Today. Now we talked some college baseball. Now let's go to the pro side of things. Guys, we're almost at the midway point. The All-Star game coming up next, actually in just a couple weeks.
Yep.
The season's flown by. Just kind of quickly, your all's overall impressions here on the first 70-ish games of the year.
Am I going first on this one? I don't know.
I'll go first just because, one, I've been watching a whole lot more. I mean, once MLB, NBA, and all that stuff, so I really haven't been tuned into MLB as much. But I know that the Braves have not been good, and that's never a good thing.
No.
Man, they got to start hit. I mean, they've hit better, but boy, they were awful those first few weeks. But I mean, we're past the trade deadline too, aren't we?
No, trade deadline's July.
July 4th week, isn't it? Something like that.
It's something like that.
The Braves got to make something happen. That's all I'm going to say. I mean, like, then again, I don't see us winning a championship, but like, to at least get to the postseason, go into next season having some confidence, make some moves. I mean, I don't know what the whole Acuna ordeal is. I'm teeter-tottering on what I think of him. I think he's a really good baseball player, but you can't rely on him because he's always hurt. Yeah. And so it's just kind of like, okay, well, what can you get for him at this point? If you were to trade him, maybe you can get a few picks or something like that and try to build yourself up and build for the future a little bit. Because, I mean, like, I'm not saying that the time for the Braves and, like, their years that they've had are – I mean, they're still going to have good years, but they're kind of reminding me of a little bit of the Warriors. Yeah. They're having good seasons, but they're not getting over the top. Yeah. And so that just kind of reminds me of that. But then again, we'll see what happens, but that's – my whole ordeal. But there's some good teams that really we didn't expect to be that good. Yeah. And there's some teams that we expect to be at the top there, mediocre. Yeah. So it's been a wild season.
Yeah, I'll hit on the Braves here in a second, but just kind of going off of what you said with the there are definitely teams out there that didn't really think we're going to be pretty well, and so you look at the standings. New York Mets 42-24. And they have a 4-game lead over the Phillies. It felt like the Mets were going to have a good team, but you felt like it was really going to be the Phillies and the Braves again who were going to battle for that top spot.
You thought the Mets were just going to be the Mets again?
It'd be Mets again, kind of around that third spot. The Cubbies looking absolutely fantastic, 40-26. Now they are 5-5 out of their last 10, but they're still having a very nice lead over there in the NL Central. Of course, we figured the Dodgers are going to do their thing. Dodgers, Padres, and Giants right there in the mix of it, so you figured that was going to be the case. New York and Tampa Bay, top 2 in the AL East. And then you go into the AL Central, and all of a sudden the Detroit Tigers are like one of the best teams in baseball.
They are the best team in baseball.
43-24, absolutely shocking. Yeah. And then, kind of looking at some of the other teams, you feel like, okay, they're kind of where they're at. But as for the Braves, I mean, when you start the season 0-7, I'm going to blow some steam off right here. I've been waiting for this moment. There's going to be some steam blown off right here.
You have
We need Dusty.
I'm not going to go on a big tangent, but you start the season off 0-7. That's an absolute gut punch. I mean, that you're thinking, what is going on? You had at least 2 of those games that were really, really close that you felt like got taken from you. But you go beyond that, you fight your way back, you start getting some wins, you start getting some momentum, and you hit that 500 mark. Yeah. And then you kind of go back and forth for about a week, right around 500. You got above 500 for like a game or two. Yeah. And and then all of a sudden you hit this brick wall that just came out of nowhere, where all of a sudden the offense is not really clicking on all cylinders, and then the pitching staff, it's not clicking on all cylinders. But the worst thing about it is, even though you look at the record now, 28-37, you're 13 and a half games outside of first place. Flip over to the wild card real quick. Let's see what the wild card is. You're 9 games out of that second spot. And that's not where you want to be in this middle of the season.
Hard. It's hard at this point.
But you had some of those games where you look, how many one-run games have the Braves been in over the past 20 games or so? Probably
a lot of
3/4 of them are one-run games. And you're losing these games, and then not only that, but you're losing games where you have multiple run leads. Arizona game, for instance, you had a 6-run lead in the 9th inning, and you could not get it done. Something's going on either behind the scenes where either it's just, I know everybody's going to bring up Fire Snicker. I get it. Any big city team like LA, New York, anybody's going to start saying, he's got to go. But honestly, I'm not ready to get behind that yet, because something else is going on here. Something else behind the scenes to where, you always got to point at the manager, but something's going on outside of what he's doing. You can make some calls on why do you bring in Johnson in one of those games where you had back-to-back-to-back hitters coming up that hit the curveball very, very well, and he's a power curveball hitter. Yeah. Well, that's not going to be a good recipe for success. Sure enough, they end up losing the game because of that. So there are obviously some details like that where you scratch your head a little bit. But something's going on with this mentality. Either they've been in the slump, and it's just now snowballed to where they just feel like they can't get out of it. They're feeling the pressure from the fan base or something. I don't know. I'm not ready to get behind the Fire Snickers kind of category, the bandwagon, but I mean, something's got to give here. You got to make some moves going into the trade deadline. You made a point about Acuna. From my perspective, I think you need to keep him because his offense you need to have that. Is he injury prone? Yeah.
That and his contract's hard to get rid of.
His contract's hard to get rid of, so you might not really want to get rid of him right now. He's a really good piece of your offense. You need to get pitching. I think the offense is there, and the offense will come around, but you need to get pitching. And one last thing before I kind of end the little rant there, but what the heck are you doing with Kimbrel? Bringing him up for one game, and then you DFA'd him for one game? I mean, and he did great. Right. 1 inning, 1 hit, 1 walk, 1 strikeout. He picked the guy off at first base, for crying out loud. Yeah. And you're like, oh, okay, see ya. Yeah. I mean, I don't get that one, but you need to add stuff to the pitching, I think. Like I said, I think the offense will come around. But if you're going to have a chance to probably make a run to at least get into a playoff position, probably not winning the division, but getting into the wild card, you need to get that pitching better because the ERA is not good.
The goal is to get there. Yeah, that's all it is.
Yeah, I mean they've been in holes like this before.
They have, and people.
I say we saw it the year they won the World Series. They didn't look good.
They were not over 500 until August.
Right.
So who's to say it can't happen? But the way that team looks from this team, that's a completely different team.
Yeah, I wonder about Acuna in the clubhouse.
Yeah,
I obviously his on-field production is great.
Yeah,
the contract's hard to get rid of. My biggest worry with him is in the clubhouse. I mean, obviously I'm not in there.
Right.
I don't know what's going on, but I don't know, man. Every time he gets injured or comes back, because they had just gotten over, they got to 500 and over 500. Then he comes back, and now they're 9 games under.
Yeah,
something just doesn't smell right about this.
Something, and one of the things I've always kind of thought about from looking at the past, not players, but the managing staff, if you will. You lose Ron Washington to the Angels. Mm-hmm. You lose Eric Jones, I think is what his name was, over there at first base coach. Yeah. And Ron honestly felt to me like he was the absolute glue guy in that coaching staff clubhouse. Yeah. He always had a positive attitude. He loved helping on fielding. He kept things lively. And I'm so grateful for him to get another managing position. But I feel like you look at how the team did after he left. Yes, you make the playoffs. Yes, you win over 100 games. But it just feels like something has not been the same since he he ventured out. And so, again, maybe there's pointing to the fingers with something that the coaching staff's not doing behind the scenes. But
maybe it's upper level management. That might be the issue.
Anthopoulos, the thing, you go back. My brother's a huge Braves fan, so we'll go back and forth on stuff. Losing Fried has an ERA under 2 right now.
Right.
The Atlanta Braves ERA is over 3, which isn't bad, but it's not the best. And so you ended up losing your best pitcher. You think who's to say what the record would be like right now? But if you had Chris Sale, Max Fried, Holmes, Schwellenbach, and A.J. Smith-Shawver, that's a really, really good pitching staff. Right. And you lose that one key. Now, yes, there's been some injuries and some pitching rotation, but that was a big hit for him to be lost to the Yankees.
Really was. Well, guys, let's look at what some of the preseason predictions. We'll start off in the American League. I'll just run through them really quick here. AL East, the Boston Red Sox. AL Central, Tigers. That's looking like a good pick right now. In the West, you add the Rangers, and the wild card teams were the Orioles, Yankees, and Astros. Now, let's take a look at what the standings are. The Red Sox and the Orioles are the 2 bottom teams in the AL East. One is 4 games under 500. The other, Baltimore's fallen off a cliff.
Yes.
They're 26 and 38, 12 games under 500. They hit the nail on the head with the Tigers. They're sitting at 40, best record in baseball, 43 and 24. They have the Rangers winning the West. They're right now 4 games under, 31 and 35, but that Astros pick is looking pretty good. But American League West, guys, is still open for anyone to win it.
It's
the Astros are only 7 games over, 3 games ahead of the Mariners right now. Yankees looking really good. I mean, they World Series team. I don't know how many great adjustments they made in the offseason, but it's...
You honestly didn't need to make much.
Yeah, I mean, maybe get some defense.
Yeah, just a little
They're
bit.
like the Lakers of the MLB.
Yeah.
Maybe get a little bit of defense. Let's take a look at the National League, and I'm sure this isn't going to make... Well, shoot, if this will allow me to do this. We've got to love technology. Look in the National League. NL East, the Braves. The Central, the Cubs. That's looking pretty good. West, the Dodgers. Your wild cards, Phillies, Diamondbacks, and Mets. Now, most of that is looking pretty good right now. I'm a Cubs fan, and I am thrilled to death right now at how good the Cubs have been. It is awesome. I'm loving Pete Crow Armstrong. He's crushing the ball right now. You're getting contributions all over. Even with all the injuries to your pitching staff, the Cubs are still doing great right now, 40 and 26. The Mets, preseason wild card prediction, but they're sitting right now the best team in the National League, 42 and 24. Phillies, we knew they were going to be good. They've outside of last night, they're 2 and 8 in their last 10 games, sitting right now 38 and 28. And the Dodgers are what the Dodgers are, and the Padres are looking a little bit better. But it's the Diamondbacks, guys. Everyone thought that was going to be, they could challenge the Dodgers for the West, at least make the wild card. Now, they're 7.5 games back of the West, and they're only 2 games under 500, but wow. I mean, they are not even close to living up to their expectations.
They've had stints where they look like, okay, maybe they're going to turn the corner, but they haven't. I mean, it's been a struggle. I mean, they can't get anything going offensively, and then defensively, it's like they forget how to play baseball defensively. It's unreal.
Yeah, the only games I've seen, obviously, when they were playing the Braves, and yes, there's that one game that I mentioned where the Braves gave a 6-run lead. But same thing. It's like you look at this team, and there's like really big bright spots. That first game against the Braves, they, I think their top 3 hitters all hit a home run in that first game or something like that. And one of them hit 2 of them. So it's like this team has a firepower offense, but then you go and kind of look at them on defense, the pitching, and it's like, okay, what has happened? I wouldn't necessarily put them in the same category as how bad the Braves are doing. I think the Braves are obviously the worst disappointment so far, but the Diamondbacks, definitely disappointment, but I feel like they at least have the keys in place, and the record right now is not as bad as the Braves, where they probably have the best chance to maybe kind of gain some momentum, try to catch some ground, and who knows, they might end up flirting with getting that top spot in the West if they try to take down the Dodgers.
The Diamondbacks, the Braves, the Red Sox, and the Rangers. Those were 3 teams, guys, that ESPN had their top 10 preseason power rankings, and it's not looking too great right now. And then there's the opposite side, almost in a way of the story of just when we thought we had an historically bad season last year from the Chicago White Sox, which let's just face it, everyone in baseball rejoices when the Chicago White Sox are bad. I mean, it's personal for me being a Cubs fan, but I think most of baseball is just like...
It's just a running joke now.
It's a running joke. And they were bad, but... Colorado. I mean, I'm looking at their record, guys. 12-53. They're 6-25 at home, 6-28 on the road. 1.85 winning percentage. We knew that this team wasn't exactly going to be competing to get into the postseason, but we didn't know it was going to be, quick math, 31 games under 500.
No, I didn't expect that whatsoever. And yeah, you're right. Obviously, it is a running joke that the White Sox are as bad as they are. I mean, every single year, the people who follow stuff on social media know that the day of the opening day, you're going to get a fake little post from someone saying, "Oh, the White Sox have been eliminated from playoff contention the first day." So
right after the
first pitch. See, this is a running joke, but my goodness. When you thought that record could not have been broken, it's probably going to be broken this year. Because I don't see the Rockies doing anything to try to catch up to where they need to be to beat that. Or not beat it, actually.
And it's kind of like, the White Sox are bad, and the Rockies just go, hold my beer.
Yeah, hold my beer.
That's what it was. And then there'll probably be another team like Atlanta next year saying, we can top that.
We can top that, yep.
No, I don't think the Braves are going to be that bad. I hate it for my guy, Chris Bryant. There's kind of a lot of the way his family handled his exit that's kind of oddly satisfying to me, but I think Chris Bryant does truly miss Chicago, even though his dad and his wife, I'm just throwing that out there a little bit, have something to do with his exit and the reasons in Colorado. Well, guys, coming up, our final segment, we're going to finally dive into some football. It took us a couple episodes to get there, but we got a new quarterback in Pittsburgh. It's a little bit Brett Favre-ish. A little bit. We got a lot to talk about with Aaron Rodgers putting on the black and gold coming up next.
For high school athletes, every game counts. You push your limits and you chase your dreams. But when injury strikes, you need more than just recovery. At Southern Tennessee Orthopedics, we're here to get you back in the game faster and stronger. From cutting-edge treatments to personalized and compassionate care, we're here for your every move. Our specialized team of experts encompass decades of experience in sports-related injuries. Dr. Paul Thomas, Melanie Durham, and Julie Marcus offer the most comprehensive care from diagnosis to recovery. With advanced treatments and tailored rehabilitation plans, we'll help you heal stronger and faster. Trust Southern Tennessee Orthopedics to keep you at your best because your future is worth it.
Jack Davis Insurance, located at 201 West Gain Street in Lawrenceburg, has you covered through life's obstacles. Jack Davis specializes in group insurance for businesses and institutions of all sizes. With coverage for life, accidents, cancer, critical illness, short-term disability, dental, and vision, Jack Davis can customize a plan to meet every need. Now available Medicare plans for seniors. Contact Paige Davis at 931-492-9284 today for Medicare Supplement, Medicare Advantage, and prescription drug plan insurance. Serving Lawrence and surrounding counties since 1987, call the team at Jack Davis Insurance today at 931-242-5225.
Since 1955, Evers Construction has been the company folks have trusted for residential and commercial construction projects. Today, Evers is still the leader in building and is just as committed to maintaining. From residential to commercial and industrial, Evers' team of experts stands ready to install, service, and repair all your HVAC and plumbing needs. Specializing in leak repair, maintenance, air duct cleaning and repair, air handler service, drain cleaning, gas line work, emergency unit repair, inspections, and more. Evers Construction offers a preventative maintenance package to keep your home or business cool in the summer and warm in the winter. Trained, trusted, reliable. For more information or to schedule an appointment with the pros who know, phone 931-762-3593 or visit eversconstructionco.com. Evers Construction Company in Lawrenceburg, Tennessee.
Juarez Tile Pros and Remodeling can help you with all your home remodeling and construction needs. They specialize in custom walk-in showers and floors, and no job is too big for their expert team. Licensed and insured, call Juarez Tile Pros and Remodeling today, located in Lawrenceburg, Tennessee.
State Line Garage Doors, owned and operated by Justin Gobble, is your trusted local expert in garage door services. Based in Lawrence County, Tennessee, State Line Garage Doors is built on over a decade of hands-on experience, providing reliable repairs, replacements, and installations for all types of garage doors, residential and commercial. They proudly serve our community and the surrounding areas. When you work with State Line Garage Doors, you're not just another job, you're part of our community. Their commitment to quality, transparency, and craftsmanship is at the heart of what they do, and they offer free estimates. State Line Garage Doors. Reach out to discover the difference a company with local roots can make for your home and business.
Going the distance for local sports. This is X Sports Today.
And welcome back to X Sports Today. Talking a little pro football. Some news around the league, guys. You got some guys holding out. You got T.J. Watt with the Steelers holding out. You got Hendrickson with the Bengals. He's holding out. Got some guys at with the Florida. Miami. I had the Panthers on the mind. Jalen Ramsey, Smith, their top tight end, not in minicamp right now. So some things kind of coming out, some big names across the league. T.J. Watt seeking a new deal. Same with Hendrickson. But the big one everyone's talking about right now is Aaron Rodgers signing that one-year deal to go to Pittsburgh. He almost took the Brett Favre complete route because he was talking to Minnesota. But he ends up in Pittsburgh. What are your guys' initial thoughts of the enigma known as Aaron Rodgers joining the black and gold?
I mean, it's not going to change anything for Pittsburgh, really. I mean, it doesn't really put you over the top for anything. You do have Will Howard as a guy that you took in the 6th round this past draft. So, I mean, it's really nothing. Aaron Rodgers now ain't going to put you over the top. And, I mean, his locker room presence and all that stuff is pretty toxic from whatever all the reports are saying, how he's been, trying to decide where he wants to go, who he wants, and all that stuff. So then again, we were talking on there. I guarantee he'll get the Russell Wilson treatment in Denver and getting cut. I don't see him making it past at least week 8.
I can kind of agree with that. I don't know if he will end up getting cut. I don't know if it will be that, but it could be a thing where, I don't know what the Steelers' mindset of this, whether or not they just want a veteran quarterback that Will can, kind of work with and gain some experience from. But, I mean, you're exactly right with the toxicity that he has. It's like, okay, well, why did you actually want him? Why did you actually offer him that contract that he signed? Yes, it's 1 year, which nobody's really shocked about that, but what is the mentality behind it? Is it to help the younger guys, or is it to say, you know what, we really don't have anything right now, this is probably going to be our best chance?
The only thing I can think of is just to get Mike Tomlin another over 500 year. That's the only thing I can think of.
And it's so weird because the Steelers have a certain culture. It's about the team. I'm not the biggest Mike Tomlin fan, but he does make it about the team, and that's why the George Pickens of the world aren't there anymore. If you're not about the black and gold, you're not about the Steeler logo. You don't stick around here long. And Rodgers isn't really about.
He doesn't fit that.
He's not a logo guy.
No.
He is a all about himself guy. he does get DK Metcalf. He does have some other good pieces around there. But my biggest fear for Pittsburgh, okay, you bring him in. Are you going to bring him all of his other guys he used to have in Green Bay?
Yeah.
Like, do you go down that route, or you make him say, okay, this is what you have, deal with it?
I don't know. I mean, it seems like he has at least a decent wide receiver core right now.
Yeah.
But is it his guys that he wants? You don't know. If you start seeing them make some moves to try to trade for some people or try to, I don't even know who's on the free agent market right now, but something, maybe we see moves that, okay, the guy that they get kind of fits what he wants to do.
Right.
I don't know. With Aaron Rodgers, I mean, I think the enigma that is Aaron Rodgers. I mean, you're exactly right. With him, it's just bizarre, especially with all the things that you've kind of come to know that he likes to do. And I could go on and on and on about that guy, but that's going to be an interesting experiment, if you will, to see play out.
Smartest guy in the room, only in his own head. Pretty much.
I wouldn't even give him that.
He thinks he's the smartest.
Yeah.
That's the way I should put it. The other big news, Nick Chubb gets signed to the Houston Texans, and the Texans get a much-needed running back that they desperately needed a year ago, because they keep winning divisions, they keep making the playoffs, guys, but they never go by. Can never get past really a certain level. They've kind of plateaued as a franchise.
I mean, they can win the South because it's just so poor right now. I mean, Indianapolis, they haven't been good in a while. They've had mediocre years. They've had struggles. Don't even get me started on how bad the Titans are.
Yeah,
in Jacksonville. And Jacksonville, you think that Trevor Lawrence is going to take that step, and all of a sudden they go in the wrong direction.
Yep.
So, I mean, the Texans are obviously the favorite again to win the South, but unless they get a guy that can help C.J. Stroud, you don't have to pass the ball every play. It seems like every 3 out of 4 downs.
It seems like he's passing 50 times a game or something.
He's passing. I think there was one game he had like 33 pass attempts or whatever. So, I mean, it's good to have a veteran guy like Nick Chubb's in there, and maybe try to, I don't know if they drafted a running back. I think they did. I can't remember the guy's name, but to mentor him. But like I said, I don't really see much from Houston.
Well, and I completely agree with that. It seems like, especially with the way that the South is right now, you just have to be
easy to win.
Easy to win. You just have to be a decent team, and you're going to be up there on the top.
But all you got to do is win at least 10 games.
Exactly. But then you look at, okay, you've won your division, even though it was really weak. What can you do in the playoffs? Right. And I feel like that Houston's one of those teams where it's like they have shown that they can. They're not just a decent team; they can be a really, really good team. Right. But they don't have a real true running back. And if you keep having C.J. Stroud have to pass 30 times, 40 times a game or something like that, once you get into that end of the year, into the playoffs, you start wondering what's the fatigue like on that arm, because you do have to overuse it sometimes. Now I got Chubb in the backfield. Hopefully you can keep him healthy. And maybe you can kind of limit to where you can kind of split it up with, not having CJ throw so many passes, give it to Chubb and let him do his thing. And maybe you are looking at a kind of more rounded Houston team that could make a run in the playoffs.
Yeah, I think Houston, their bread and butter is going to be their defense this year. I think that's where they're going to be.
Yeah, well, DeMeco Ryans does a fantastic job with that defense.
Yeah, I mean, he's done an excellent job with that defense.
So we're still a long way. Actually, training camps are about a month away, guys.
Yep.
So
it's coming up quick.
Just when you think like football, it's so far away. I mean, it's going to be here before you know it.
Yep.
Then we'll have a lot of stuff to react to, injuries, all the stuff, and then college football. Yep. So got a lot to react to here in the coming weeks. So, guys, another great show here today. So for Taylor Plott, Hayden Burks, I'm AJ Good. We will see you guys tomorrow afternoon right at 1:30 sharp.
Going the distance with local sports. This is the X Sports Network.